You're welcome back to the first show on First TV. My guests have already joined me. So I have DSP Obeng. He is Head of Education, Training and Research at the Motor Traffic and Transport Department of the Ghana Police Service. And Elijah Akrofi Obobi is a mechanic. He's also involved very much actively in selling spare parts to drivers. Abbas Ibrahim Moro is also an executive or an official from the GPRTU of the Greater Accra Secretariat. He is also on the Finance Committee as well, I'm sure. Right. So you're welcome. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for coming. Let me start off with DSP. Of course, you've covered all these fields. So let me find out so far what's going on the roads. Are we recording more deaths, or we are recording more lives, or more safety, or more dangers? What are we doing?
Oh, thank you very much. I think opportunity to thank everybody watching and listening. And we cannot begin this all-important discourse without reviewing the road safety situation in the country. And, given the first quarter and in the second quarter, we can say compared with the same period last year, things look brighter than last year, and it tells us that associated fatalities or deaths in regard to injury related to road crashes and people who are injured and properties damaged compared with the same period last year is a bit minimal. That notwithstanding, there are also seemingly high road traffic infractions or offense being committed by road users with regard to particularly physical construction of vehicles and then the use itself by drivers. So for us, because the first time in many years, within a space of a month, there has been a significant reduction in deaths. Because
significant?
Yes.
Can you give me the
looking
figures?
at, for example, I just give you two comparisons. When you look at the month of June, because the average deaths on our road was 160 to 170. That was the average. It hovers around that. But for the first time in many years, a month fatalities reduced to 120. You get it, the average. The month of June recorded as low as 120 deaths within 31 days. As compared to, in certain times we have 180, and the average since I even took over this crash analysis and all that, hovering around 146. But in recent years, it was 180, 170. For the first time, also in this year, it reduced to 120, the month of June. And the preceding month, we have recorded something around 147 and all that. So that's what I'm saying, that looking at it compared to the same period last year, we have seen a significant reduction in fatalities. That notwithstanding, it's still high with regard to accidents that are being reported to police, and I think that more has to be done. The attribution or the reason why these, though minimal, but why these occurred were because of indiscipline, general indiscipline, which in specific terms, like I said, poor maintenance of vehicles and unsafe handling vehicles on the road, whether untrained or those who are unlicensed, and people who are not also careful in crossing the road, or dangerous maneuvering by drivers, and the fact that certain parts of our communities have dark roads at night and all that, and inadequate maintenance of our road infrastructure, all combined to cause these preventable crash and all that. It's something that I think in due course we subject it to public discourse and see how we build upon this trend.
So you describe this reduction as significant, of course, from 170 to 120. Looking at the figures,
yes,
it is significant.
Yes,
but because it is death and it still passes 100 in a month, we can't see it as a small matter. We still want to.
Yeah,
but
that's why I've outlined why even once we are dealing with 120 per month, we are talking about how it happened.
How it happened.
And with this revelation, I think we're all going to learn and be interested in safety issues the more. Because I said that so the 120, the cost was not far-fetched. That indiscipline, that poor maintenance of vehicle contributed. At certain times, the road infrastructure were not maintained, or certain furniture were not replaced in due time, and people also handed over vehicles to unsafe hands.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that all these combined together with other risk factors that we discussed to cause these crashes that could have been prevented. I think I said that. I mean, to a very large extent, it's also unfortunate because it tells us that we can further reduce crashes and prevent deaths. And
I wanted to find out what measures you think helped in the reduction, which you describe as significant.
I think we all have to remember, prior to the month of June, we heightened sensitization on the road use because of the upcoming World Cup. We did it. There was this World Cup. We said we did a lot of sensitization in regard to how drivers and all road users should behave towards the World Cup. And this year too, we have done a lot of proactive public road safety sensitization coming from or flowing from Easter and all that. I think that is a combination of previous efforts and the current effort that we are putting, backed by our haste to go to court for the court to either convict and deter those who are committing and are being arrested. I think together, and we can also not forget that the media is helping giving us the platform to constantly appeal to road users to do what is expected of them with regard to